The Flash 758. Joshua Williamson writing with Christian Duce on the art. The Legion of Zoom has made their first attack. They've retreated to a hideaway, whilst Barry tries to get his family into a safe place, get them out of the city, because things are dangerous. Which felt like it was kind of going against the whole thing, we're going to stay with you and fight. And they kind of bring that up here, but he's like, well, it's actually just too dangerous because Thawne's going to go after you next. So
well, yeah, there's, with new information that Barry has, right? He's like, well, no, he's plucking these people from time. Who knows what else he's done?
Yeah, it's actually...
I do understand the doubling back.
It's Wallace who notices that Cold and Glider have got old costumes on, and that's what kind of lets Barry figure out that, oh wait, he's plucking them from different parts of the timeline. It's not just the current versions of these things. So obviously after the Romita Jr. art, the art in this looks like it deserves like 10 Eisners by comparison. I
will say the coloring makes it feel a little bit too digitally.
It has a kind of that Marvel sheen to it that I don't like it about it, but
yeah,
I'll take that over Romita's art. I'll take it.
Other than that, it's fine. I was gonna say, but, so I wonder, because I'm reading this digitally now. I'm wondering how it looked on the page. So if you guys read this physically, let me know if it's still, or if the printing of it dialed down that sheen a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. But it has that kind of fake sheen that some Marvel books have had in the past that I've disliked. Not on everything, I must say. It's kind of on the regular people faces. Once we're in people with costumes, with masks and stuff. Because I think the villains look really good when we get to them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, especially this version of Glider, the physical version of her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that costume's slightly underrated, just because it has all the flowiness with the ribbons and whatnot. Yeah. And Duce really does a good job.
Although I will critique one thing in the Glider art, is that, yes, as we all know, when women cross their arms, they cross their arms under their boobs and push them up. That's how women cross their arms.
Oh, I mean, as a chesty man myself, that's how I do it.
I believe the answer to that is only when they want something from a man.
Yes.
So why does Matt do it then?
Same reason, obviously.
Same reason. He's at Taco Bell and he's like, hey, can I get some extra cheese on my tacos, please? That's
why they only put ladies at the drive-thru now, because I was getting too much free stuff. We gotta cut it. He's affecting our bottom line. This is a joke, guys. I've lost plenty of weight, and I've converted that chunkiness to chest muscle, so I could lift up a car. Y'all know. Yes.
So okay.
Hey, want to have a push-up contest, Connor?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said no, because I can only knock out about 20.
I love the idea that Matt would tilt his camera down and we just watch him do push-ups while we talk about the book for 5 minutes. All right, so Reverse Flash shows up and is like, have no fear, the plan is all going to
patience is a virtue.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, basically the whole point is there's a little cliffhanger here where he says, oh, but don't worry, I've got a secret weapon. Which turns out, of course, so we get Barry phoning his dad to make sure his dad's in a safe location, because he obviously assumes that Thawne might go after him.
Which, wherever he is, I want to go. It's this log cabin that just looks, it's so picturesque.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Barry, why don't you live there, buddy? Like, it's so nice.
It does look pleasant, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe he's too worried that the super speed will start a fire because it's all wood, so it's all logs and stuff.
That's
so
true.
He's worried that he's going to burn it down by accident. Yeah. So Barry goes back to his childhood home because he's trying to connect the dots between that case that he was working that was kind of eerily similar to his own childhood. And there's the Golden Age Flash comic on the floor, and that's when the evil Wonder Twins burst in.
Evil Wonder Twins, the Tornado Twins.
That's what I said. Wonder, didn't I?
Sorry, did.
Tornado Twin.
I mean, they do. Wear purple. They are twins. I mean, they're not Zan and Jaina.
That was a great slip. That was just such a great slip. I do like how she says "Hi, Daddy-O." That made me chuckle. There's just something evil about someone saying "Daddy-O." But so they fight a bit. So correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not as down on the Tornado Twins stuff as I should be here. The backstory they describe here is the implication that this when Barry dropped off Iris and the kids in the future, is that meant to be like during Crisis? Is that like?
I believe so.
Yeah, so he took them to the future for protection, went back, died in Crisis, and then they were kind of stranded there. Okay, and then Thawne came and sort of taught them how to be evil. Yeah.
Yeah, and it created the Sideways. That's where Bart comes from too.
Yes.
Because at one point Iris dies, but she's still around because Bart knows his grandma. So yeah, it gets timey-wimey, but yeah, what I took this as, this is post Infinite Crisis, that in that timeline that created this version of them, he never came back, and so there's this feeling of abandonment that Thawne's able to exploit.
Yeah.
So I do like that. Also, Barry and Iris, you can't name your twins Don and Dawn. D-O-N and D-W.
Well, that's why I notably did not use her name a minute ago when I was saying what her line was, because it's too confusing.
Yeah.
Because out loud it sounds the same. Ah, dear. So they basically fight Barry a bit, and they kind of win along with the rest of the team. And Thawne comes along, and the big ending to this issue is that Thawne phases into Barry and takes control of Barry's body, and Barry's left sort of trapped in his own mental space because he's like, this isn't the Speed Force, where am I? So Thawne in Barry's body is off to see his family, and I guess this is him finally fulfilling this idea that he can be the Flash, that he can be the greatest Flash, because now
he
he's actually
literally became his hero, which you don't want to do. You want to take what your hero did and add to it.
The big thing is, though, because I was thinking Barry's like inside himself, like, this is just like a sort of main space, but while he's in there, the final page, the big cliffhanger, is he encounters some, zombified versions of Max Mercury and Jesse Quick, implying that, Thawne has killed them, and this is where they've went upon death, kind of thing. So we'll see how they play out with that. I mean, I kind of like the idea of like Thawne becoming Barry. There's a nice dramatic, like, conclusive nature to that based on what his story with Barry's always been. As I say, it's not a perfect issue by any means. I do think there's a couple of clunky elements, and like I'm not necessarily in love with the whole we have to get the family away now after we kind of like did the opposite thing last issue. But the art's pretty good for the most part. Like I said, some of that sheen from time to time is a little bit intrusive, but.
And you didn't mention that when he goes into the Speed Force, it's Scott Collins art. So then there's a shift in the art, and I thought it was real.
No, notably,
cool.
Although notably not the Speed Force.
No, not the Speed Force, but into himself, whatever.
Yes. Wherever he's went at the end, yeah.
I'm gonna say it's Speed Force adjacent because they're coming out of it.
Yeah.
With the speed lines.
Maybe the negative Speed Force. I mean, they might go down that path. I do like the art change isn't a problem because it's such a different location. It actually works that the art changes for these last two pages. So I wonder if they're going to have a thing going forward where maybe they'll keep both artists and Collins is going to do everything inside this realm, whatever it may be.
That'll be cool. Collins, I like when Collins does Flash.
Yeah,
it goes together.
Yeah, I have no complaints on that. So I don't think it's like an amazing issue. I think it's it still feels like a Williamson issue of Flash. But I do kind of like some of the dramatic poetry that it's playing with, and the art's generally not bad. It's good even. So just with the odd little thing here or there. So maybe not a triumph by any means, but
no.
So I'm certainly not mad about reading it like I was not too long ago.
No,
so.
I do like it. Finally feels like Williamson does have that. He knows exactly where this is going, so it doesn't feel like a lot of holding pattern.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, that's the Flash. What are you giving it, Matt?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Yeah. I'll probably just go with this rate 7. I think it's the nudge lower, but not bad. I enjoyed reading it.